to the Super English Podcast.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Super Easy English Podcast.
Hello, everybody. We're so happy you're here with us today.
I'm Marcus,
And I'm Gabby.
and today we're talking about a super useful topic, how to talk about your daily routine in easy English.
Yes, this is one of the best topics for beginners because you can use it every day. You can talk about your morning, your work or study routine, your evening, and even bedtime.
Exactly. But before we start, everyone, please remember to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, and click the like button, and please share our podcast with your friends and family. It helps us a lot. It really does.
And leave us a comment, too, because we love reading your messages.
Okay, let's get started.
All right, Gabby, let me ask you a simple question. What time do you usually wake up?
I usually wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I like mornings. I feel more productive early in the day. What about you?
I usually wake up at 7, so not super early, but not too late either.
That's good. And right after you wake up, what do you do?
First, I get out of bed, of course. Then I go to the bathroom, wash my face, and brush my teeth.
Same here. Those are very common morning routine phrases, by the way. Wake up, get out of bed, wash my face, brush my teeth. These are phrases you can start using right now.
Exactly. And after that, I usually take a shower.
Me too. I always take a shower in the morning. It helps me feel fresh and ready for the day.
Yes, same. And then I get dressed.
That's another great expression. Get dressed means you put on your clothes for the day.
Right. Very useful and very common.
Hey everyone, here's a question for you. What time do you wake up every day?
Yes. Write your answer in the comments in English. You can write something simple like, I wake up at 6 or I wake up at 7:30.
Keep it easy. Just one sentence is perfect.
Okay, so after I get dressed, I go to the kitchen and have breakfast.
Breakfast is very important.
It really is. I usually have coffee, eggs, and maybe some fruit.
That sounds good. I usually have coffee with milk, toast, and sometimes an apple or a banana.
Nice. And this is a very good phrase for beginners. Have breakfast. In English, we usually say have breakfast, not just eat breakfast, especially in simple daily conversation.
Yes, the same happens with lunch and dinner. We say have lunch and have dinner. Very useful pattern.
After breakfast, I usually leave the house around 8 o'clock and go to work.
And how do you go to work?
I drive to work. It takes about 20 minutes. What about you?
I usually go to work by car too, but sometimes I work from home, so my commute is very short.
That is the dream.
It really is. But on normal days, I leave home in the morning, arrive at work, sit down, check my schedule, and start my day.
That sounds very real and very natural. And for students, you can also say, I go to school, or I study in the morning.
Yes, that's important. Not everyone works. Some people study. So you can say, I go to school at 8, or I study English at home.
And if you want to talk about your routine at work, you can say simple things like, I answer emails, I talk to clients, I have meetings, or I teach classes.
Exactly. Keep it simple. You do not need difficult English to talk about your real life.
That is such an important point.
Let's ask another question.
Good idea.
Do you work or do you study? And do you do that in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night?
Write your answer in the comments. For example, I study at night, or I work in the morning.
Perfect. Short, simple, and useful.
Okay, now let's move to the middle of the day. Around 12 or 12:30, I usually have lunch.
Me too. Lunch is one of my favorite parts of the day.
Honestly, same.
What do you usually have for lunch?
Usually rice, chicken, vegetables, or sometimes a sandwich if I'm busy. What about you?
I usually have rice, beans, salad, and some kind of meat. Something simple but good.
That sounds great. And after lunch, I like to take a short break.
Yes, a break is important. Even 10 minutes can help a lot.
Exactly. Sometimes I walk a little, sometimes I just sit quietly and relax before going back to work.
That's a very healthy habit. Then in the afternoon, I continue working, answer more messages, finish my tasks, and get ready to go home.
Same here. The afternoon is usually the busiest part of my day.
Really? Mine too.
So maybe we need more coffee.
Probably.
Now, let's move to the evening. Around 5 or 6 o'clock, I finish work and go home.
Go home is such a useful expression, and this is important for beginners. We say go home, not go to home.
Yes, that little detail helps a lot.
When I get home, I usually need some quiet time. I like to sit down, relax, and breathe for a minute.
Same. When I get home, I usually sit on the sofa, watch TV for a little while, or listen to music.
That's very natural. A lot of people do that after work.
Yes, after a long day, your brain needs a break.
Absolutely.
And what about dinner? Do you usually cook?
Yes, I usually cook dinner at home. I like making simple food in the evening, nothing too complicated.
Nice. I cook sometimes too, but sometimes I order food.
That's real life.
Exactly. Some days you have energy, some days you don't.
Very true.
Hey everyone, tell us in the comments, do you usually cook dinner or do you order food?
Yes, we want to know. You can write, I cook dinner, or I order food.
Both answers are great.
After dinner, I usually wash the dishes, clean the kitchen a little, and then I relax again.
Same. Washing the dishes is not exciting, but it is part of life.
Yes, unfortunately.
After that, in the evening, I sometimes study English for 15 or 20 minutes.
That is such a good habit. And for our viewers, this is a very important message. You do not need to study for 2 hours every day.
Exactly. A little practice every day is already very powerful.
Even 10 or 15 minutes helps.
Yes, small steps, big progress.
I love that.
Then, before bed, I brush my teeth again, wash my face, and change into comfortable clothes.
Me too. And sometimes I read a little before I go to sleep.
That's a nice habit. I usually go to bed around 10:30.
I usually go to bed around 11.
And go to bed is one of the most useful daily routine expressions in English. It's simple, natural, and something people say all the time.
Yes, if you want to talk about your day, this phrase is essential.
Okay, let's ask one last question before we finish.
What do you do before you go to bed?
Do you watch TV? Do you read? Do you listen to music? Do you study English?
Write one sentence in the comments. We would really love to read it.
All right, before we go, let's do a quick review of today's useful phrases.
Wake up,
Get out of bed,
brush my teeth,
take a shower,
get dressed,
have breakfast,
go to work,
go to school,
have lunch,
take a break,
finish work,
go home,
cook dinner,
wash the dishes,
relax.
go to bed.
These are all real English phrases that people use every day.
And the best part is, you can use them to talk about your own life right now.
Yes, start with very simple sentences. For example, I wake up at 7, I have lunch at 12, I go to bed at 10:30.
That is already amazing practice.
And remember, your English does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be clear and real.
Exactly. Keep practicing a little every day and you will improve step by step.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the channel, click like, and share this podcast with your friends and family.
And don't forget to leave a comment in English below.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Take care and keep practicing.
Welcome to the Super English Podcast.